What's going on, YouTube? BK Low is back in the building. I've been showing my Sportster a lot of love lately. I haven't really gotten on the Dyna in a minute. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but before I do a video like this, I gotta get something to eat, man. I'm looking to get a breakfast burrito or something. The lowrider needs to eat. Hey man, just gonna do the breakfast burrito with avocado. Harley Davidson swing arm bag. Perfect piece to put a breakfast burrito in. Yes, keep this burrito safe. Oh, we do not need to add more litter to these streets. Alright y'all, let's get moving here. So if you follow this channel, you probably realize right now that the lowrider is riding naked right now.
The number you...
That's right, no fairing. So I guess the natural question you'd ask is why? Why am I riding naked today with no fairing? And the reason for that is I'm going a different route in terms of fairings right now. Yeah, so if you followed the channel, then you know that I've rocked a Memphis Shades Gauntlet fairing for about a year now. A little bit over a year. And let me tell you, that is a phenomenal fairing. In my opinion, that's probably the best quarter fairing you could get for the price. So yeah, I want to be clear before I do this video, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the Memphis Shades Gauntlet fairing. It is an amazing fairing, and I was very sad to actually let it go. And with that, I'll give a shout out to Memphis Shades. They've been super cool to me. I would hit them up on direct messages just about like, if people would ask me questions I didn't have the answer to, and they would get straight back to them. So the company is amazing. So I definitely still rep Memphis Shades to the max. So now that probably has you asking like, yo, BK Low, if you love the company so much and you love the fairing so much, then why are you getting rid of it? And why are you switching things up? Well, it all started when myself, the road captain, and the Scorpion had an idea for a little trip this summer. I'm not going to announce what the trip is yet, but what I will tell you is it's going to be easily over 1,000 miles by motorcycle within a couple of days. So now the way we're planning this particular trip, that will not be named yet, we'll do a cool little reveal video for what that trip's going to be. But the day-by-day plan for that trip is to clock at least 500 miles a day. So that means riding hard from sun up to sundown. Really moving. Now the most I've ever clocked in one day is around 500 miles with my boy Winnie. But it wasn't like a 500 miles where we were like moving and hauling down the highway. It was like a leisurely 500 miles where we were hitting twisties, you know, we were having a good time. So now in my old age, I'm trying to really take the advice of my elders a little bit more. And for the particular trip that I'm doing, and people in my family who have done it on a bike, the main critique that the elders in my family have said about doing this ambitious trip is that it would be very, very difficult to do with a quarter fairing. So what that meant for me is that I needed to go a little bit higher just to block a little bit more wind, you know? Ah, yes, the Jackie Robinson. So what I did initially, because I was like, man, I don't want to give up this fairing. Like, I love the way this looks. I've gotten so many compliments on this fairing. So I hit up Memphis Shades. I was like, yo, here's the situation. Like, I got to go a little bit higher. Like, is it possible to do that? And at the time, there was no solution for that. They didn't have like a replaceable windshield that you could go a little bit higher on. So it kind of looked like I was gonna have to look elsewhere for that. So there was always a particular fairing that I always was intrigued by. What I will say, what's really funny is after I ordered this particular fairing that I'm talking about, and it came a couple weeks later, Memphis Shades released their Road Warrior fairing, which would have actually solved the exact problem that I'm talking about right now. It's a quarter fairing where you could just put a higher windshield, which is exactly what I was looking for. So if that were out when I was having to make this decision, I may have chose a little bit differently. But there was a particular fairing out there that had gotten a lot of really good reviews. I was always kind of intrigued about, but I had never really touched because it was a little bit pricey for me. But now at the time, you know, like I said, there wasn't really any other options in terms of what Memphis Shades had. So now the best option for me was the fairing that you're about to see installed. Yeah, I know, guys, I bet you just are sitting at the edges of your seats just wondering, what fairing did BK Low go with? Speaking of which, another Dyna dude that recently changed the fairing is my boy Theo freaking Door, who I believe is coming out of Oklahoma. Shout out to TFT! It's actually Connor that put me onto him. But yeah, he's got a pretty cool channel, you know. But that's really it, y'all. Stay tuned for the next video. And if you enjoyed this anticipation, if this got your heart pumping with adrenaline, just thinking about what fairing it could be, then go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll leave it at that. BK Love is out.